we're very focused on results. And so we come to our social strategy in very much the same way as we do our business strategy, which is how do we achieve those results. In our experience, because of the kind of systemic change that's needed to move the dial in any of these areas, partnerships are the key. But we don't approach partnership, again, in a kind of ideological way. It's not a process issue for us. It's a tactical and strategic issue for us. Is that if you are clear on what result you're trying to achieve, then you approach partnership strategically and tactically. So in education, for example, where the public system is the key delivery agency and really the only game in town, if you understand that there's 140 billion rand spent and 450,000 people employed every day, then one understands that to really have an impact on education, no matter how wonderful one's own intellectual capital and passion, one has to be partnering with the system, and one has to understand how to do that on scale, and how to not create things that seem like they can be replicated, but things that are really absorbable and are absorbed. You have to have a willing and able partner in the system. Whereas in youth employment, where we also work a great degree, I think that to move the dial there, one has to drive serious collaborations across business. Because business or employers, whether they're public or private, are the key delivery agents in shifting the dial on youth employment. And they're driving pre-competitive collaborations between business has been what we focused on through a project called Harambee. And then I think that the third point that I'd want to make about partnerships, other than focus on results and be tactical and strategic about them to get scale and impact, is that in partnerships, I think we often, we need to manage them really strategically as well. Partnerships are very draining, they're very time-consuming, and they can be very distracting from core purpose and core focus. So I think that one of the things we sometimes fail to do in these partnerships is make the distinction between why are we partnering and what are we partnering about. And there are three levels I just mentioned, and then I'll end there. First is you partner because you need agreement on what needs to happen. That you need people to agree on the plan. And a partnership can be only about that. It doesn't need to go further than that. It's a permission. It's an enabling environment. A second issue in partnership is that you need partners to enable something, whether that's you need money, or you need a license, or you need capacity. And the third is to partner because you need that partner to actually execute with. And I think that it's quite important in partnerships to distinguish between those three levels, because I think that we often get stuck with partners that we should have just been agreeing something with and land up trying to execute with, and that's often not very productive.